Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel where I break down the charts every single week. So in today's video, I want to talk about Bitcoin and I want to talk about the overall crypto market and why I believe this market cycle is going to be something different to what we've ever seen before, and why I actually believe that this could be in fact the super cycle that we've all been waiting for. So if you like the sounds of that, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. So guys, Bitcoin has just broken 72,000. Now, why is this significant? Well, Bitcoin has never actually broken an all-time high before the halving. And this is absolutely massive, and I'm going to explain why. So we can see on the halving event in our previous cycles, by the time we've actually broken our all-time high, it's actually been quite a few months past our halving event. So this is the first cycle where we've actually broken all-time highs before our Bitcoin halving, which is absolutely massive. Now, why is this? Well, the first reason is because of the Bitcoin ETFs. Billions of dollars have been flowing into Bitcoin through these ETFs. Now, what normally drives up the price of Bitcoin is normally the halving event, and this is indicated at these yellow lines here. And this is where the supply of new Bitcoin being mined gets cut in half, causing a supply shock. And that's why every single halving we see a massive run up in price, followed by a correction and an accumulation phase, which we're just exiting now. But what we've actually seen and what makes this cycle different is we've actually seen these ETFs being approved. So you can almost think of it like a double halving event. So normally what drives up the price is just a supply shock, right? And that's what we get at these halving events here. And that gives us these massive bull runs in price. But what we actually have now is we actually have almost a double halving event, where instead of just having a supply shock, we now have a demand shock as well on top of this. And you combine them together and you're honestly looking at a super cycle. So this price action here has only come from the Bitcoin ETFs, in my opinion. And when we actually get to the halving and we get that supply shock, we're going to see the same effect that we've seen in all of our previous cycles. But instead of starting from down here, we're now starting our supply shock bull run from our all-time highs. Like, does that make sense to you guys? So looking at our previous cycles, right, when we get the supply shock, we're normally still quite a big distance away from our all-time high, and then we get the run up in price. But right now, we're currently above our all-time high, and we're probably going to be even higher by the time we do reach our halving. So by the time the supply shock actually comes into effect, you're going to see price go absolutely insane. And I want to talk about some other information that I've got, which is why I believe that this is going to be a super cycle. And this is because our last cycle was actually a suppressed cycle. And the reason it was suppressed was because of Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. So Caroline, who was one of the top executives there, who was a CEO of their partner company, Alameda Research, she actually said that she was instructed by Sam Bankman-Fried to suppress the price of Bitcoin below $20,000 in our last cycle. So $20,000 was our last all-time high, and they actually shorted the market on FTX using 80,000 paper Bitcoin to short and push the price of Bitcoin down. And I believe that that is the reason why we didn't see 100k Bitcoin in the last cycle. I truly believe that if it wasn't for that suppression and for that market manipulation, that we would have seen Bitcoin reach that 100k level. So what does this mean for our current cycle? Well, it means that a lot of the gains that we actually missed out on our previous bull run, we're actually going to make up on this cycle here. So imagine kind of like a spring. When you suppress something, when you finally let go, it's going to explode. And that's what I think we're going to see in this cycle here. So you add in the Bitcoin halving event, which we're about to see. So we have a supply shock. And then you add in demand shock coming from these ETFs, billions of dollars buying Bitcoin. And then you add the fact that our last cycle was suppressed. And you also add in the fact that we're about to go into quantitative easing potentially later this year, where we turn the money printer back on. And this is where we're going to add more money into the supply, which increases and is extremely bullish for risk on assets. So you combine all of these factors together, and I believe we're going to see one of the biggest and most crazy Bitcoin super cycles in history. Now, what's my price prediction for Bitcoin? Well, straight away we can do a Fibonacci extension. So if we pull a fib from our high to the low, it actually gives us a price prediction for Bitcoin of between 210 and 255,000. Now, to give you guys an idea of how accurate this indicator is, we actually have a look at our previous cycle. So it actually topped out exactly between our price target up here. So this indicator is extremely accurate. So I do think that we're going to hit at least a $200,000 to $250,000 Bitcoin. But it's not uncommon for these extensions to actually overextend and to get overheated. And with all of these macro factors in play right now, it wouldn't surprise me if we actually break above our technical targets and potentially reach higher prices upwards of 300K. Now, I know some of these numbers sound pretty high, but these are actually very realistic price targets that we could see in this next cycle if we do see a super cycle. So guys, that's pretty much my price prediction for Bitcoin, and the reasons I believe this cycle is going to be absolutely insane, especially when the Bitcoin dominance starts reversing and we get that crazy alt season that we've all been waiting for. But guys, if you liked that video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.